Sup boys, Ludo here with the Boomie, Moonkin, Balance Druid, however you want it, PvP guide. Hopefully this guide will help you reach Elite, and let's get going. First things first I want to say is Boomie is looking good. It's like an 8-year spec. The only problem with it is kind of finishing the game's execute range, you know. Outside of that, really high damage. It's bad though, it's really high bad damage, okay? The burst is not as strong as it used to be. Okay, so let's get going. Basics, race. Which race are we picking? We have two best races, right? For the Alliance, it's going to be Night Elf. For the Horde, it's going to be the High Mountain Tarren. Now, Night Elf is just going to be, in general, the best option. We get the Shadow Melt, super good ability, really good ability, right? One of the best in the game. And we get the 1% haste over the night, very strong, our best stat, okay? On the other side, we have the High Mountain Tarren with the 1% verse and passive damage mitigation. So a better defensive option, right? But then again, with a Shadow Melt, we can clutch in a 6 Shadow Melt into, you know, maybe a Chaos Bolt, maybe a, you know, anything. CC, we can Shadow Melt a lot of stuff, Storm Bolt, right? Which could win us the game. So, they're both insanely good. In my opinion, the Night Elf is gonna be better. Not, you know, because on Feral it's way better, and on Restoration is better as well. So if you're not, you know, only playing Boomie, you could go for the High Mountain Tarren. But if you're playing any other spec, I would definitely go with the Night Elf. Okay, because on the other two specs, Night Elf is definitely better, and on the Boomie, I would say, you know, it's kind of equal. Okay, so that's for the race. Now for the stats, guys. Yeah, don't look at my stat because I was playing Feral. You know, I'm just mixing. So number 1 is gonna be verse and haste. Honestly, I rate them equal. Haste is gonna be doing a lot of damage because we have a lot of dots, right? Moonfire, Sunfire. We have mushrooms. We have, you know, a lot of dots. And haste is gonna be really good on that. Not only that, it reduces our global cooldown, plus it reduces our cast time of like clone. Very important, right? So haste is gonna be insanely good on the Boomie. Versatility, again, insanely good. But as a Boomie, we will not always be the focus. If there's another caster, we're probably not going to be focused. If there's like a lock, there's a Shadow Priest, you know, we will not be the focus. So verse, in that case, is not going to be so good. So in my opinion, I would say haste takes the edge slightly, in my opinion. Verse, insanely good as well. We want to be tanky. Boomie doesn't have great defensives. Like, it doesn't have great defensives. Barksin is very good, but it's not high wall, but it's on low cooldown. So outside of that, mastery, really decent. Helps our burst, helps our finishing power, right? So, you know, if we get some mastery, sure, why not, right? For example, from tier set. Crit is going to be the worst stat, per usual, right? So we'll be trying to avoid that, okay? Now, for the gear. So the gear, guys, will start with the tier set. We'll definitely be running the 2-piece, okay? It's gonna be on the head, it's gonna be on the hands. It's really good. And we get the nice stats, right? So definitely 2 set. Now, the question is 4 set. What are we thinking here? Starfall and Star Surge damage increased. Not bad, doesn't sound bad. But, unfortunately, Star Surge is hitting for peanuts, you know? It's not that hot right now, okay? But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is we need to go on the legs tier and on the shoulders. The problem is the shoulders is going to give us some crit, you know? Outside of that, all of our tier sets give low verse. So our verse will be very low. And that's going to be a big problem in shuffle, right? When you're going to be the focus often. Now in threes, where you're not going to be the focus, it's definitely, you know, viable. If you're not going to be the focus, you're playing with another caster, which is going to be the priority. Then you can go that way. But in shuffle, where you're going to be the focus very often, you'll be, you know, very squishy. So I would be recommending tier 4 in that occasion, okay? Now, for the enchants, head, shoulders, and feet, speed, very simple, per usual. Chest and legs, intellect. For the embellishment, I'm usually always running Arcana View Insight. What is it now? Here it is. Or Devouring Banding. Those two are usually the best, you know. I'm running Arcana View here, so, you know, if you want to run Devouring, it's completely fine. It's going to increase your secondary start, which is either going to be haste or verse, depends which one is your highest. For the ring enchant, for the weapon enchant, let's do weapon enchant first. I have the haste weapon enchant. Now I do believe that intellect one is probably better, but I'm running haste specifically because my haste is very low. Because I'm playing, you know, I played feral, I had high mastery gear, so I'm really low in haste. As you can see, 15%, it's nothing, right? So that's why I'm running the haste enchant. It's good, but probably intellect is better. Same for the ring, right? I'm running a haste enchant on the ring. I would probably be running versatility one, but I'm really low. So either verse or haste on the rings. Same for the gems. Haste plus verse I'm running. If I had normal build, like I was proposing to you guys, I would be running verse plus haste, right? Because tankiness is really good. Fortunately, again, my haste is really low, so this is the build I'm going with, okay? But I would be recommending you to go a little bit higher verse, because you will have haste with the normal build. Now, what else did we miss? Only the this gem. I have the damage reduction crowd control. You usually have the precog. It's obviously better for a caster, right? You cast a lot, clones, rats, right? So getting a precog, you can get a free clone. It's very juicy, so you want to have that, right? Outside of that, I think we covered everything for the gear. Now let's get into the talents, guys. Hero talents, we have two options: Keeper of the Grove or Elune's Chosen. Honestly, Keeper of the Grove is gonna be definitely the option for Arena. Elune's Chosen is super fun. It's really, it's not bad at all, actually. It does good damage. It's definitely viable in BGs. Problem with it is it's mostly pad damage. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of boost to our pad damage, and that's good and all, but we already have a lot of it. Like, we have a lot of pad damage. We're gonna be topping the charts every game, but we can't finish the games, and this is where the Keeper of the Grove comes in, right? It's gonna give us that, you know, burst buff, right? So this is essential to close the games. With the Elune's Chosen, we'll be doing probably even more damage, but we'll be thinking, oh, I'm doing so much damage, but I can't win. I can't win, right? You can. I'm thinking already that with the Keeper, right? Like, I'm doing so much damage, but boom, I just can't close it. You get the clone, you get the beam, and you're bursting all the time. It's still not enough. Star Surge is not hitting hard enough. That's the problem, right? So we need to go here for Arena. Now for the BGs, we can be, you know, taking this and pumping the damage charts, right? So definitely viable, but for Arena, honestly, we'll pretty much have to go with this. Okay, so we'll break down all the trees. We'll start with the left one, go to the right, mid tree, PvP talents, and finish up with the Elune. Let's go. So in the upper left tree, we only have one optional talent. Everything else is pretty much set in stone. We want to pick all of these, no questions asked, right? So where do we put this last talent, guys? We have kind of three options. The best one is obviously remove corruption, but it's optional because, you know, against lock, against shaman, hex, right? So in that case, obviously you're gonna pick this. Now, if not, then we either go in Killer Instinct, 1 point, armor increase by 3%. Like, it's not gonna do much at all. It's really weak. Or we can go with the Rake. Again, it's gonna be pretty much useful only in the opener. So two very bad options. But let's say we need corruption. We need to remove corruption, so we'll pick this. Now in the mid 3, we'll pretty much be running all of these. They're all so good. They're all good, amazing talents, okay? So in the lower 3, we have a few optional choices, I would say. So we have 5 points. First, we're gonna pick one of these, okay? Incap Roar or Mighty Bash. Just depends who we are playing with, who we are playing against. Roar is gonna be like very good against 2 melees. They're gonna, you know, zigzag you. Mighty Bash is gonna be very good if, you know, if you're playing against a caster, you can access the enemy healer, you can bash him, clone him, all that good stuff. So picking one of these. Then I just like going 2 points here. It's very nice. I like it. Okay. And I really like going 1 point here. It's pretty damn nice. 50% stamina, very nice in the bear for 4 seconds. Now, for the last choice, let's go through the options. First option, Lingering Healing. Not bad. Regrow duration increased by 3%. We're pretty much regrowing often, but it's not that strong, right? Like the other ones we just covered. Like it's kind of weak, mild, you know? First bite, we're not clicking that. These, you know, not great. This is, again, not bad, just a passive mini defensive, okay? Here, Stampeding Roar, pretty decent cooldown reduction, but honestly, I'm not pressing it very often, so I usually don't pick it. This is not great. I mean, it's pretty lame, okay? Because you really need movement speed in bear, not really. Every damage taken, I mean, it's okay. It could be worse. So in that case, this will be better. Now, Innervate could be clutch in, you know, 1 game in 100. When your healer is the enemy healer is and, well, you clutch the game with this. But honestly, I think this one will be the best option here out of all we covered. Now, if we don't want to have another active ability, then just go with this, okay? So, in my opinion, these two are the strongest choices in the left 3 for the last choice. So just pick whatever, you know, fits you more. Now, for the right 3, again, we have a few optional talents. These pretty much all set in stone, right? Now, we could say this one is optional, okay? And we could put it pretty much anywhere. So we have 3 optional points. 1 point could go here. 1 point could go here. Also solid talent, but in my opinion, this one is a little bit better. But this one is okay too. Then, this one is optional as well, but I like it. Just having, I like having more astral power, so I like it. This one is optional too. It's gonna reduce it exactly to 30 seconds. Very good. And these 2, right? So, out of these 4 talents, or 5, but honestly I just like this talent that I always run it, you are gonna pick 3, right? So that's gonna be up to you, boys. In my opinion, I like this one the least. It's between these 2. Just depends what you prefer, okay? For the mid 3, honestly, it's really no choice. We'll always be running all of these selected nodes already, right? So, this is the Keeper of the Grove full talent tree. Let's check what we have for the PvP talents. Now guys, for the PvP talents, we always have 2 set in stone. Moonkin Aura, very simple passive. Again, Orkin Frenzy, very simple passive. They're just so good, we always run these. Now the third talent is always flexible. Fairy Swarm, Disarm, you know, Warrior Rogue, whatever needs, right? Always good. If we don't need it, we're obviously gonna run High Winds. It's so good. 5 yards on the clone, very nice. On Typhoon as well, very nice. Roots, great. So this is, you know, if you don't need the Fairy Swarm, we always run High Winds. Now, for some reason, if you don't want to run the High Winds, what do we have here? So let's check it out. Tireless Pursuit. We're not going that cut form that much on the Boomie. We mostly go bear form, so kind of useless. Getting Iron Fur in bear form, kind of useless as well. I would never run these. Again, this is for BGs if we're gonna flag carry or something. Not that great. Thorns, kind of weak. Like, honestly, the best part is they get movement speed reduction, but we're stuck in bear form anyway, so whatever, it's not that great. Again, I mean, where can we use this? In double DPS 2s maybe, you know? Not that great. Starburst, this was a staple in like Blitz, but it's not that great right now, so, you know, you can try it out, but it's nothing amazing. Deep Roots, again, very, you know, maybe in a dueling where you're playing against a warrior, it could be useful. But outside of that, not really. Dying Stars, enemies that dispel Moonfire suffer additional damage. It's not bad since this, you know, does a lot of damage, but it's just bad damage. No one's gonna die from this. It's gonna, you know, it's not gonna do much. It's really not gonna do much. This actually is not bad, especially if you're playing against someone who has a long kick. For example, Mage. You know, this could be useful. So it's not bad, honestly. This could be the third best choice, in my opinion. It's going for, you know, it doesn't sound bad, but again, it's not gonna kill anyone, right? It's just some extra pad damage. So, and this could in handy, you know, Destro Lock maybe, you know, he's pumping you. You just go bear form, you get some mini wall. Not bad. So out of all these options, if we don't want to run high winds, we can go with this, or we could go with this, in my opinion. These would be the two best choices. Okay, let's check out the lunar tree, Elune. For Elunes, we have few changes. We're obviously going to remove Force of Nature, it's not going to do much for us. We remove the Fairy Dragon as well, and the Shroom, just so we can go into the Umbral Embrace, you know, and this tree here, right? Well, we obviously need these because, well, that's our tree, right? And we're pretty much going this, and I changed a few talents here, as you see now. I went with this and with this, because it can make our Retro Starfire Astral, and we are boosting a lot of arcane damage, right? So, you know, having some crit chance in that, extra damage, very nice, I would say. So for the right tree, I would definitely go with this. Now in the mid tree, we have a choice here, pretty much. A little boost to arcane damage, definitely I would go with this, even though this is actually powerful, but, you know, we need that burst, right? So I would suggest this, but this is honestly not bad. It's really good DPS wise. Here we have another choice. 3% damage, definitely solid. But since we're already playing all of this, right? Fury of Elune, we want to reduce its cooldown. Like, we want to press this as often as we can. So we're definitely going to go with this. Now here, having 20% slow permanent feels good. I really like this. Okay, I'll always run this. Okay, for Elunes, it's going to be it. Left tree is going to stay the same. PvP talents the same, right? Let's get into the most important part. So, how do we do damage? Let's start first with the consistent out of the burst damage rotation, and then once we build our Astral Power, we'll talk about the burst rotation, right? We have two different ones, okay? So, out of burst, what we want to do is do our DPS priority, okay? First one is Moonfire and Sunfire up on the target, and, well, as much as targets as we can, right? Now, if we get the Orkin Frenzy proc, right, instant Starfire, we're obviously gonna click that. Right? That's gonna be number 2 priority. And of course, number 1 priority is gonna be Star Surge if you are overcapped. Like, we're at max, boom, we're of course gonna Star Surge, right? That's gonna be the number 1. Then the dots. then the instant Starfire, then casting Breath, and then casting Starfire. So you pretty much won't be casting Starfire, except if you wanna, you know, get kicked on it, so you can free cast nature spells, like Clone and stuff like that, right? So that's also possible, right? But now we're getting a little bit in depth. So that will be the consistent damage rotation. You always wanna, you know, have that in your mind. Now, once the burst is ready, we obviously wanna CC the healer, the, you know, where we wanna CC. Then we can go it two ways. We can either Lunar Eclipse for a smaller prolonged burst, because we're gonna Lunar Eclipse into big burst, or we can instantly go with the big burst. Okay, the big burst is gonna be Force of Nature plus Incarn, which is gonna start pumping, or prolonged burst with the Lunar Eclipse into Force of Nature and Incarn. Okay, so again, we need the dots on for the damage boost on our Star Surge. Then we're gonna, for example, CC the healer. Then we're gonna do, let's do the prolonged one. So we're gonna Lunar, we're gonna Star Surge into one Wrath, into Star Surge, and then we can Incarn plus Force of Nature. Boom, we start pumping. Just pump. Star Surge, right? Wrath, Star Surge. And whenever we get back enough Astral Power for Star Surge, we're just gonna click that, right? And obviously we want to maintain the dots, so we do extra damage on the Star Surge. Okay? So that's the prolonged burst. Now for the short burst, you obviously, you know, you want to have a little higher, above 100 Astral Power, I would say. And then we can enter Eclipse. We're just gonna spam Star Surge, right? We're just gonna Wrath. If you're in a Solar Eclipse, we're just gonna Wrath. If we can free cast. Now, if you can't free cast, in my opinion, it's better to enter the Lunar Eclipse, because we are the focus in that occasion. And then we have probably forced. We have 2 stacks already of Orkin Frenzy on the Starfire. Then we can Eclipse and, you know, just spam those Starfires, and they're gonna do bonus damage because we are in Lunar Eclipse, right? So that, and then obviously we wanna use those Star Surges per usual, right? Now this is what we wanna know. Send the stars. Why we are doing the prolonged buff rotation is because of Ascendance of the Stars, right? The first 3 Star Surges do increased damage. So we enter the Eclipse, we throw the 3 Star Surges, and then we go into the long burst. That's the 2 differences between these, you know, bursts. I would call them. Okay. Yes, that's pretty much it. Obviously, you want to CC the healer meanwhile, right? That comes given, and I think the damage rotation is kind of simple. Guys, if this is helping you out, drop the like and subscribe. For the Elune, it's pretty much gonna be the same, except, well, you're gonna Fury of Elune before starting your burst, and then you're just gonna pump, same like I displayed, you know, a few seconds ago, right? Priority is gonna be the same, right? The gameplay is pretty much the same, except we don't have the Force of Nature, but we're just gonna, you know, Fury of Elune first and then do our go, right? Now, let's talk about CC defensive utility. We have a lot of that, right? So for CC, we need to be really, really smart with using Clone, because it can break or win a game. Cloning wrong target at wrong time can literally lose your games, because it's, you know, they're immune. So you have to learn how to use it. It's impossible to, you know, that just come with experience. We have the bash or the roar, right? The bash for second stun. Now you don't want to be bashing if you play with like a rogue. You want to be, you know, messing up his DR, stuff like that, right? So in that case, we'll be playing with the roar. Same with the roar. You don't want to be, you know, roaring to mess up someone's DR. You want to roar if you're feeling pressured. You want to bash if you can bash clone healer or something like that, right? So that's how you use your CC. Now, the beam we want to combine with the mass entanglement, right? Now, it's going to be very, very powerful CC. But if we're playing against something like, you know, Paladin, which can freedom them out, maybe we want to watch out for the freedom, right? Oh, it's on cooldown. Boom, I could do it now, right? We want to be smart about that as well. Now for the defenses, we don't have much. Boomie is a little bit squishy, right? We only have Barkskin, which is very nice because we can use this in stance, right? We need to pre-bear a lot of damage, right? Because we get the increased stamina, we can frenzy regen in it, right? This regen is very, very good. So we don't wanna, you know, whenever we have it off cooldown, we're focused, we wanna press it. Outside of that, we have nothing. We have only our mobility, right? So what I mean by ability is we can run around, right? We can run around in Stampeding Roar as well, right? So we have 2 movement speed abilities, and we have our Wild Charge. Now, Wild Charge we can use in so many ways, right? So we can jump back, we can jump on someone in cat form, in bear form, or we can fly to ally in no form, right? So we want to be smart about using that too. Or in trial form we can jump forward. So that's a tough one to use because you have to shapeshift all the time to do that, right? So you see, for example, I can jump to this guy, but we need to leave the form first. So it's pretty tough to use. Now, outside of that, for the utility, we have the remove corruption for hexes, for curses, right? We have disarm. Now, this disarm can be dispelled though. So, you know, we have the innervate, we talked about it. You obviously want to innervate your healer, right? Typhoon, you can, you know, throw someone off the cliff. Very nice, right? So that's pretty much all of our toolkit. Did I miss something? No. So for the macros, we have a lot. We have just the barks with the health zone, nothing crazy. I have the beam 1 to 3. I have the clone 1 to 3. I have the disarm 1 to 3. I have the curse for friendlies 1 to 3. I have bash 1 to 3. Interchangeable with the encapping roar, right? I have the Ursal Vortex incapable with the mass entanglement, regrowth, mouse over. What is this? Nothing. These are these are old. I have innervate for the healer, but most of these are old. Buff the player because sometimes it bugs out. So nothing crazy. Now, do you need all of these? In my opinion, it's good practice, but if you don't have like the mouse MMO or you don't, you know, have enough keybinds, you can always do these things, you know. You just bind Arena 1 to 3 and then you switch around Arena 1 to 3 and you use these abilities. You don't really want to be tabbing to clone, right? Because everyone will know who you're gonna clone and stuff like that. So this is good to have. If you can't, then either do it on focus target, but this is how I'm doing it. Now for the addons, guys, I have the full 20-minute UI guide for, you know, I have the same UI as me, and I have the import code on my Discord server. So, you know, if you want to see that, check it out, join, say hello, and I'll see you. Shuffle, Blitz, 2s, 3s. How is Boomie looking right now? So in Shuffle, I would definitely say, honestly, it feels like a B-tier spec right now. Like the damage is really, really good. But I'm feeling I'm losing games I shouldn't be losing, you know? Just because I can't close them. Like I need help from my teammates to close the game. But you know, sometimes, you know, like you feel like you're doing a lot, but in the end you lose for no reason. So I would say in Shuffle it's not the best at the moment. You know, any healer can out heal your pad damage, any healer. We don't have, you know, any dispel protection or anything like that crazy, right? So the pad damage is gonna do nothing. The burst is, we need a really good CC chain to kill something, like really good. So I would give it a B tier. Now for 2s, honestly, it's probably the worst bracket for Boomie. Like, it always has been. We don't have... Like, it was not when Convocal was there and it was one-shotting people, but now when we have really low burst, you know, anyone who pops defensives, it can survive burst if the enemy healer is CC'd, right? So we need offensive healer with us. We need offensive healer which is gonna help us pump. I mean, in my opinion, that's gonna be like a discipline. Holy actually does some decent damage as well. Or something like Press Evoker. Those would be my best choices. Because we really need some, you know, to finish the target. We need something that we can clone into Beam, into a, you know, a Sleepwalk or Fear or whatever, right? Fear DRs with the clone, so that's not the best, but Void Weaver could pump, right? So he could bring a lot of damage. Ultimate Penance is doing a lot of damage, so that's the only way I see Boomie doing something in 2s, okay? Now for 3v3, obviously, amazing bracket for Boomie. Coordinated play is always good for Boomie, because you can prolong the game. In Shuffle, prolonging the game, you know, yeah, it's good, but it's not gonna do as much as in Trees, right? Trees prolonging the game is really good, and Boomie is really good at that, with cloning at the right time, right? You're coordinated. So Boomie is very good in Trees. Definitely better than Shuffle in my opinion. Now for the Trees, who do you want to play with? Hunter is pretty damn good. I mean, on any Hunter spec, because Trap goes really well. You know, Stun, Trap, Beam. It goes really well with the Druid CC. Rogue is pretty good as well. You can, you know, you can kidney into smoke and you can do your full burst, and you can beam the healer once the smoke is ended. So it's a pretty good comp as well. Now last season, Havoc Boom was popular. It's probably gonna be good this season as well. So in my opinion, those will be top 3 comps for Trees. Okay, and in Trees, I would definitely say it's like strong A tier. Now for Blitz, obviously, always and forever, Boom is an S tier and the best, one of the best, always one of the best specs in Blitz. It's always good. It does everything well. It's good in 1v1. It's good in teamfight. It does insane teamfight damage. It has everything. It has mobility. It has utility. It just perfect class for Blitz. We don't need to talk much about it, right? So let's get into the strength and difficulty. Okay, the document from the last year when I was pushing elite on every single class and spec. So we're doing Boomie now. It's 17th. We pushed 1.8, all of these for now. So let's rate it. Strength 0, the weakest, 10 the strongest, difficulty 0, the easiest, 10 the hardest. So I would rate the strength of Boomie. Keeper, I think it's kind of like Elemental Shaman. I would give it a 7. For Elune, I would give it a 6. Okay? It's not horrible. It's just, you know, average. Okay, so... for the difficulty, now. For the difficulty, I don't think Boomie is super hard. We're talking baseline. This is baseline. Yeah, it does have high skill cap. You know, you can do so much stuff, but baseline is pretty simple to do damage. So I would give it 6.5 on both. Obviously, it's not gonna be any different. But to get to elite, I will have to definitely increase it to an 8 out of 10. Because it's gonna be hard to get to elite. It's kind of hard. One of the harder specs I've played yet. Even though I'm doing way more damage than on some other specs, I'm even better than on some other specs. It's just harder to win games because, again, Star Surge is not hitting hard enough, okay? Dots are really good, the pad damage is really good, but it's hard to close the game, and for climbing, we need to close those games. And it is what it is. That's why I think it's going to be hard to get to elite, actually. I think it's going to be, even though the spec itself is not hard, it's medium hard, to get to elite, it's going to be hard. That's how it looks to me right now, okay? Next is Pharaoh. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, drop the like and sub. Tomorrow we'll be doing the Feral. Now Feral is probably my worst pack in the game, but I'm trying to learn it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be streaming it, so if you want to tune in, you know, check it out. Now I'll post the shuffle games because there were 2 or 3 games within last 2 or 3 hours I was playing shuffle that game crashed. Literally after, I mean, this is after patch now, right? Literally I started playing the patch and game just started crashing in the middle of, you know, this hasn't happened since, I don't know, the War Within, some season where it was same, you know, garbage bug. Like literally I'm just playing the game, boom, out of a sudden I get a crash and I start losing, you know. My macros don't work when I log in. Everything's broken. It's just horrible. Okay, let's get going. Okay, let's get going. What is this? Sub-rogue? Pretty tough matchup, I ain't gonna lie. Another one, my mini CC is not working. Who knows? Okay. Hmm. Hmm.